Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tipsy Conversations. This is the channel where we sit here and talk about things that we just want to discuss while we drink whatever we're drinking. So I'm one of your hosts. My name is Brittany. You can find me on Instagram under the name Brittany Alicia. You can also find me here on YouTube under the name Brittany Alicia.
Hello, everybody. Oh, you was about to go in? Look at that. Hey, everybody. My name is Ebony Chambers, but I'm known as King Ebony E on Instagram and YouTube. And it is a pleasure to be here with y'all this evening.
Good afternoon, I'm Eric. I currently don't have social media, but I'll get one too.
That's what he says.
So tonight I'm drinking on the best drink ever made. Fight me if you must. This is Pink Moscato. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up.
Well, we ain't drink no damn thing. Great. We drinking Bacardi. There you go, Bacardi. And we got some juices to mix it with, but the one we're using now is a Minute Maid berry punch. And what the hell you doing that to? The liquor or the juice?
Team Tropicana.
Listen, I just went in there and grabbed it. I got in and out.
In and out. Also, you all, please excuse my makeup today. I was doing a Halloween tutorial, so we're just going to pretend like my face looks normal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I am going to lead the conversation off today with just a little thought. So because we're still stuck in a pandemic and I'm not going outside, I started watching the show 13 Reasons Why. And there is an episode, I guess it would be like 2 episodes or 1 episode, where the character named Chloe, she heads to a clinic to get an abortion. So as she's walking up to the clinic, there are, I think it's like 4 or 5 people who are outside that are protesting against abortions, that are trying to tell her, you know, Jesus loves you, Jesus will forgive you, don't abort your baby. And I have been pro-choice since college. Ever since I found out what pro-choice and pro-life meant, I have been pro-choice. I am a strong believer in sovereignty over one's body, especially women, because women across the world, we are not allowed to hold our own rights. It's almost as if men get the chance to control our every step, our every move, our every thought, our every word. And I'm not a fan of that. This is my body. I can do what I want to my body, but I also don't want to be disrespectful to people who are pro-life. But I just want to open a conversation about being pro-choice or pro-life. And where do you both stand?
You want to go? I mean, I guess, well, you don't have to be a woman to be like pro-life, because there be men out there too or whatever. But I'm pro-choice. Reason being, because it's like, you know, it seems like some of the people that advocate for pro-life, it's like, you know, no matter how you got pregnant or whatever, you still need to have the baby. And it's like, going back to the topic that we talked about, you know, last week, and I mean, we don't know much about the Amish, but the girl that got pregnant by one of her brothers, why was abortion not an option? Because apparently her brother's been having sex with her. You know, she's 12, and we, like I said, we know 2 of them are 22. Well, one's 22 and one's 18. So it's like, you know, when any females in that situation, they should have the choice, you know what I'm saying, to have the baby or not. I'm also like you, how you say, if somebody gets pregnant, let's say somebody gets pregnant in the condom bus or something, right? You know, they weren't trying, they were trying to be, you know, protective. So it's like, you know, they should have the choice whether they want to keep the baby or not. And, you know, if they do want to keep the baby, you know, do they want to raise it, or do they want the baby, do they want to have an open adoption, closed adoption, you know what I'm saying? Or do they want to, give it to a family member so the baby can stay within the family, but they know that they need to get on their feet type of thing. And I mean, on the other side with the pro-life, um, I understand that they want everybody to have a chance. I get that, because it's like, well, that baby was made for a reason. That's how I think some people in pro-life think. That's just how I think they think. But it's like, some people are out here having sex unprotected, and it's like you got to know what the outcome is going to be eventually.
That's true.
Whether you have unprotected sex with the same person or other people, whatever, eventually that's going to be the outcome. I done ran into people in this, well, not ran into people, but I know one person before, and I was just like, girl, this is what abortion number for you? So when you want to have a child, hopefully your body won't reject it. Because she was on like 3 or 4. It's like, well, why keep having sex without no condom or no birth control? You know what I'm saying? So I can understand that side where if I was a pro-life person, that would be like my argument, females and dudes having sex and just getting pregnant, constantly having abortions. So I'm just like,
Eric?
I'm for whatever do what's right to you. So that's my opinion on the whole thing.
Wait, expand on that.
Because it's your body, you know what you want to do with your body and the choices you want to make with your body. So however you feel about it, you make your own decision. You shouldn't let no one make a decision for you.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Since you are a man and this is a male-dominated world, we're also going to be honest, have you ever at some point in time had animosity or had a problem with women who chose to get abortion?
No.
Why not?
Because the simple fact is they may not be ready for it. And why bring a child in this world and you're not even ready? You're not ready mentally or physically. So
then that brings my question almost to, I can't really say it, but I mean, okay, then why have sex? And guarantee, okay, yes, my first time I had sex, I was 14. Okay. But you got to think about it. I'm 31 now, and I've had time to grow and think about certain things over that lifespan. And it's like, if I could go back, I wouldn't have had sex. So it's like, I give you, like, you do whatever you want to, whatever makes you happy or your choice or whatever. But it's like, if you're not mentally ready or nothing like that, then why are you even mentally ready for sex?
Well, I mean, I think that's it. That's a bigger topic in itself. Like, think about the world we live in right now. Social media, sex is this thing that everyone should do. It's like a rite of passage in a sense for both men, especially for males, and it's even becoming a rite of passage for females now as well. So, sex at a young age is happening very often, and I feel like because it's so popularized, there's no one actually talking about the outcomes, like STDs. We're not talking about HIV, AIDS, pregnancy. We're not talking about any of these things that can happen after sex. It's not just 5 minutes or 1 minute or 10 minutes. There's a whole system afterwards. There's a whole mental and emotional state that happens after sex. At least that's what I believe.
Yeah.
And
okay.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I definitely agree with you. So I guess I think I should rephrase my statement and or question, however I want to put it, or however somebody wants to say it. Then how is somebody mentally ready to have sex as a teenager? Because, like, I think Eric made a comment about like the girl at 12. How is she pregnant or in a pregnant? I'm like, listen, once that girl have a period, it's over. 10, 11, 12, once you have your period, you can get pregnant. I think I was in the 5th grade when I had my first period. And,
I will say this, and I can only talk about my schooling experience. When I was in middle school, I'm going to say 8th grade, that's when they first started talking about sex. That's when we had sex ed class. But it was in the gym, and it was only like 15 minutes. And they only talked to us about, like, they had girls and guys separate. So we had our own classes regarding our own bodies for 15 minutes. And that's it. There's no preparation for the class. There's no communication throughout the class. There's no communication after class. It's just, this is what your body does. This is what you shouldn't be doing. But if you do this, do that. And then that's it. Then I got to high school, and it was predominantly about how to use condoms, contraceptives, how to catch HIV, AIDS, how to catch STDs, you know. And I feel like there was still no conversation about why you shouldn't have sex so early if you don't really know about sex. Like, yeah, I think people have the idea of how to have sex, you know what I mean? But I think there should be more conversations about what happens during sex, well, before sex, during sex, and after sex, and why we don't talk about those things. Because I do feel like when you share your body with someone, you are sharing your energy with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And good or bad or in between, you will still carry that energy with you for a long time. You know what I mean? And people don't think about that. Like, sharing your space with someone, you're sharing your time, your energy, your spirit with someone, and you have to be mindful of who you're sharing it with.
And I think a lot of that, before it comes to sex ed, right? Some parents might not know, like, or they might think as they get older, over time, you know, before or during the midst of having a child or whatever, that, you know, they go back and they think like, you know, that I probably wouldn't have slept with that person, or they think about the energy thing, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that. So I think some parents should be willing to talk with their children, because to me, the parent is the first teacher when it comes to everything. The parent is the continuing teacher. Because even though the child goes to a daycare, preschool, and any school on up, I mean, that you're the one of the first people that they introduce them to this world before they go to school and after they go to school. So it's like, to me, sex needs to be comfortable as a topic in the home. And yes, then I feel like, yes, sex education, just like you said, when I got to high school, I don't think we had it in middle school. When we got to high school, we had a whole, you know, period on it, like how class. But it's like things like that should have started
at least in middle school.
I think in layers. The reason I say layers, right? Because a 5th grade, 6th grade, or whatever, that's around the time the girls start having her period. And I think the point of understanding what your body is going through right now should be like the first layer. And not just for the girl, but I think the boys need to be in that class. They need to understand what they're going through, and they need to understand what the female's going through, what the man is going through at the same time. And it needs to be done in layers, so that way you can understand, well, what's happening with the hormones, this and third, and leading up to talking about protecting your energy when you're having sex with someone, what, you know, what that means, you know, and then, you know, talking about, well, you know, like the babies and blase, and then, you know, STDs and stuff. Like, I really feel like if that's something that would happen, I don't know, start in 5th grade or at least 6th grade, and carry throughout the rest of your school years, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that might help, but at the same time, even if parents don't understand, somehow parents need to understand.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is, like, you were once in this child's shoes. Now, guarantee you may have a parent that might have been a goody two-shoe, right? And the person that they had, that they got this child with, this might only be their first partner, second, third, maybe 5th, right? Well, other people might have had sex with more people, whatever. So let's say this parent is a goody two-shoe. Let's say, and I'm not trying to say it in a bad way, but some people will say, like, oh, you was a good two-shoe, you was up in it. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But, you know, that's just how some people think. Anyway, let's say this is the second person that this person ever slept with, and they got married and they had a child with. But let's say the child that they had might be a little bit more curious and might want to jump off the porch early, or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can't always think that your child will be like you in certain ways.
That's true.
That's just being honest. Like,
you gotta pay attention to your child actions too, though.
Correct. So you need to be an attentive parent. You need to be a parent that's in your child's life. You need to be a parent that needs to sit down and have conversations, not just talking at your child. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, with the whole pro-life and pro-choice, to me, once again, that starts at home. That conversation also starts at home. At the end of the day, I'm just saying a lot of things just need to be conversation. So as women, because they're the one carrying the life, we definitely need to understand more of our bodies and what's going on and what things happen, you know, so that way when we do get older or when we get to a certain age where we do have sex, and whether you're being protective or not, and you just happen to wind up pregnant, like, this is, you know what I'm saying? It's just conversation that needs to happen from the beginning. Now, like I said, I'm with you, Brittany. I'm more pro-choice. However, some things on the pro-life side, I understand.
Yeah.
I just think that the whole sex thing, understanding your body, understanding somebody touch you there, if that doesn't make you feel comfortable, make you feel right, you know, tell somebody, don't think you're the one to blame, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want that to lead to where then now you're pregnant with somebody's baby that held you against your will.
That's my main point when it comes to being pro-choice. Like I said, I feel like it was going to sound like I know we went off on a tangent, sorry about that. But I know it's going to sound like a textbook when I say that the reason why I'm so pro-choice is because in the cases where a woman is assaulted, in the case where the woman realized that, you know what, she is not mentally or emotionally ready to have a child. You know, she realized, you know what, I wasn't ready to have intercourse, and now I realize I'm not ready to have a child. I just feel like we shouldn't condemn people for their choices. You know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes to women, we've been shut down and closed out so many times by society that I feel like the one thing we can at least own is our bodies, you know? And we should be able to own our own choices. And if a woman realizes that she can't keep a baby for whatever reason, it's none of our business. But if she realizes she can't keep that child, then she should have that choice and should be demonized or criticized by people for it. Now, like you said, I like that you made that point about, you know, the girl you met who had numerous abortions. One thing I want to say is I don't want abortion to be a contraceptive. Because from what my friend has told me through her experience, that I guess too many can lead to you not being able to carry a child. I don't have like a doctor's take on that, but that's what she told me when she went and had her procedures done.
Yeah, I heard
and
that.
I don't want that, like, in case you do want a child in the future, I don't want you to look at abortion as the end all be all. Like, there's so many other precautions that you can take before you have to get to that level. And there can be many mistakes throughout intercourse, you know?
Yeah.
They teach us that, they at least taught us that in high school. You can have many mistakes. And as long as you protect yourself as much as possible, that's all you can do. Mistakes happen. Men will be men, unfortunately. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. Men will make bad decisions, and you and unfortunately, things happen.
Human beings make bad decisions.
Let me be more inclusive. Human beings will make bad decisions. I was going off of my assault theory. Idea, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, it should be your choice. It's your body, you know what I'm saying? And you should be able to do with it as you please, and like you said, not be, that's it, like you said, not be crucified or held at, burned at the stake. Because, you know, the thing some people forget is that no sin is greater than another sin. So you got these people that are pro-life out here talking smack at somebody walking in and out the abortion clinic or whatever. And it's like, well, have you checked your bag? Like,
it's funny you said that, because I was just talking to a friend today about that, and I was like, you know, a lot of people feel like because their sins can't be seen, that somehow gives them the right to act godly. But never forget that when we die, we all have to face God ourselves. And the one entity we can't hide from is God. So you may have sat here and hid the fact that you're a liar, that you're a cheater, that you judge people, but God will see that. You know, God knows that already.
Correct.
So instead of trying to hold yourself hiding someone else, remember this: we're all on the same playing field. We're all right here with each other. When we die, we gotta go. We gotta take that long march and say, God, please let me in, please.
I'm gonna say, Lord, just go ahead and open up my pages.
I got chapters for you.
Let's talk about it.
No, ain't no talking.
Let me go ahead and tell you.
Ain't no talking.
You already know what I did. You know what I thought in the moment. You know what I thought after the moment. Lord, please forgive me. Let me listen. Lord, I love you. Just
you know what was wrong and you still did it. Why would I forgive you?
But that's the thing, right?
God is an awful
But that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Going back to pro-life and pro-choice and no sin being bigger than the other. Like y'all both just agreed to, and I agree with it. Just people just act like just because their sins can't be seen, that is not a sin. So my thing is, if that's the case, if I can't be forgiven, then why I almost had cussed a little bit. Then why the heck should you? You get what I'm saying?
No, the only reason I say that is because people know when right is right and wrong is wrong, but they still proceed to the wrong thing and know it's wrong. Then, well, Lord, I know it was wrong, but I still did it.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people have said that thing to themselves or out loud, no matter what the topic was, right? No matter what the topic is. You knew that whatever you was doing was wrong or you was about to do was wrong, right? It don't matter what the topic is. It don't matter if you cuss an old lady out or if you slept with your best friend man behind her back, or whatever the topic is. That statement alone, you knew that you was about to do wrong before you did it, or you knew it was wrong before you did it. So it's like, if that's the case, well then we all gonna be sitting outside this gate forever.
Well, I don't know. We'll probably be burning up.
Huh?
We probably be burning up, but
you get what I'm just saying. At the end of the day, nobody will be able to go in there because a lot of people have said that exact thing before they did something or said something and they knew it was wrong. Yeah, my nose was like it looked red on here for some reason. Maybe because
Rudolph.
That's what I was just thinking. That's what I was saying. Sorry about that. But so that's the other thing about the pro-life and pro-choice thing. Like, it's your body, it's your thing. Pro-life people need to understand, I ain't too holy and godly, because some of y'all done sit there and say that y'all, you cleansed and all this stuff, and you still be doing shady stuff instead of loving on somebody.
I feel like if the depiction is true from what they showed on TV, if it's true that people will sit up there and be like, you're going to age or you're a bad person, it's like, okay, first of all, that's very disrespectful to tell someone that they're going to burn forever just because they're making a decision. Like, last time I checked, I don't think you're God. I don't think you can make that decision for me. You know what I mean? It's like, be mindful, be respectful. Like, if this person is going to get an abortion and you are so against it, then have a conversation with them. Don't threaten them. Don't demonize them. Have a conversation with them. Try to figure out why they're going to do this. Maybe you have a backup plan or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are more ways to be productive.
Yeah.
Than just telling someone they're going to burn. Like, in my personal opinion.
I want to piggyback on that.
Okay.
Go back to the whole abortion thing. All right. If you're on your 10th abortion within a year time, like, all right, you are not allowed anymore.
They shouldn't even let you make it to your 10th abortion.
They shouldn't let you make it to your 5th.
They should me after your 3rd. That's it, baby.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Anything after 3, now you know what the hell you're doing. So you should be responsible for your consequences now. Yeah. We're no longer going to help you and back you to get out of a situation that you could prevent it at the beginning.
That's like my thing. That's the thing of going back to, like, people out here. It's a difference between you getting taken advantage of, because I can't
Mhm.
say the other word. And it is with also a condom breaking, you know what I'm saying, versus you just out here having unprotected sex. So my thing is, like, you at this point, whether you had the conversation or not, trust and believe. If you've been in high school or middle school or whatever, you done heard about somebody having sex. And I'm not trying to be funny, but if you in high school, pretty sure there's somebody at your school that's probably pregnant.
There were
And
many girls in my school.
prime example, it ain't even got to be a student. It could be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not play dumb. You know what I'm saying? I done been in school plenty of times where teachers have had babies. So it's like, it don't got to be a classmate of mine or whatever. So it's like, you are at this point where you know that where that comes from. So it's like, why keep having unprotected sex if you know that you don't want to have this baby? Like, I'm sorry, sex don't feel that good to keep getting pregnant and having abortions for nobody. And as far as like Brittany, what you was talking about, like people actually standing outside, somebody you going to hell and all this, whatever. I mean, it's just like, it's an abortion clinic by where you used to say. And I know,
Yeah.
you know, they used to, well, I know the pro-choice people was out there. Because, you know, honey, I had to read the signs I was driving by, because I ain't about to honk for no pro-life. If it's pro-choice, oh, beep, beep, I give you that, baby. But so I'm just like, if they out there, pretty sure the pro-life people, they might not been at that one, or they might have been at that one on a different day. But if pro-choice be out there, pretty sure pro-life people are out there. Lord, I was stuttering.
And I want to make this point. Like, I have no problems with, like, if you just fall under the category of being pro-life, I don't have a problem with that. My only qualm will come from if you're trying to force someone to keep a child, especially when she's been assaulted, or when she knows like an accident happened, and she knows for a fact like we can't take care of this child. Correct. That's when I'm like, okay, pro-life people, you have to think outside the box. It can't just be, well, you had it, now you have to keep it. It's like, there is so, like I said before, there are so many reasons why a woman would choose to have an abortion. So many reasons why. You can't sit here and dictate her decision for her, especially if you're not going to listen to her.
And you know, my mind just went somewhere else, and it's like, I know it's like, you know, but the pro-life people, let's say this girl has a baby. Who says that one of y'all pro-life people are actually gonna be a good parent to this child? Not trying to be funny, but I done seen TV shows and done read stories about kids being adopted even within their own family, and that child just never had a chance. It was almost in the books that they were just never gonna have a chance.
Which brings the point that not everybody needs to be a parent. If you are not emotionally, mentally, financially, physically, spiritually ready for a child, do not have a child. If you have trauma that you have not dealt with, do not have a child. If you are living in poor circumstances with bad people or bad influences, don't have a child. You already know the hell you live in, so don't bring a child into that hell too. Because baby, they are what word for it? I forgot it. But they need you in order to sustain. So if you can't sustain yourself, you cannot sustain them.
Correct. So I just don't, you know.
Which is why, which is why when a woman knows, or when a couple knows, you know, oh, we just can't, we're not ready for this, I would rather them take that reality and say, you know what, let's do something about this, than be in a situation where they know that they can't spend time with the child because they have to work 2 or 3 jobs apiece in order to afford diapers, you know, or they have to carry the child back and forth between houses because they don't live together. I'd rather you make that adult decision at that moment than have that child have to live through that until they're whatever age when they leave the home.
Well, actually, co-parenting is better sometimes rather than y'all being in the same house.
Like,
to me, we don't know that life.
Do you mean like co-parenting as far as the parents are still a couple but not in the same house?
No, they're not a couple, but they co-parenting, like The child spend a couple days here, then the child go to the next parent for the next couple days, doing it like that. I don't think that's such a bad thing because both of the parents are still in their life at that point.
But that means both parents will have to be
You have to be on a certain accord and
correct.
understand that relationship so y'all can keep that relationship so it is not toxic to that child.
You know, I'm just thinking.
I know. I already know.
It's just like you gotta wanna be a parent. Second of all, that's even wrong for me to say. I'm about to say you gotta even like your child. But first of all, there is no like in it. You should love your child. Like what I'm saying is, I mean, it's people in our family that I say love because that's family. We got the same bloodline. Do I like them?
But you don't have to even love your family though.
I would be, you know, if I liked you, you would know it. Put it like that.
I just think that we don't have to. I would say this, now that I'm getting older and starting to understand more concepts of life, you don't have to love your family if they do you dirty. You know, I would rather treat you like a stranger than pretend like I liked you.
And you know what? We're gonna make that our next video because you know it's kind of like with the whole pro-life and pro-choice. Some people don't have a good support system at home.
That is true.
And that's one thing about having a child is that, no, to be honest, watching people, it's like you kind of do need a support system. Like you and the father need a support system, and if it's not a good support system, you know, and not just saying from the family wise, but even if like maybe the friends that I don't know, you know, just period. It's like if it's not a good thing, then you know, either abortion or open adoption, closed adoption, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But yeah.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Because that could be another reason, you know. And let's say somebody was having unprotected sex, and we all know things could change like that, right? And let's say things was good and things just happened to go bad, right? And now their view on having that child has changed. So it's like,
I don't mean to be rude to laugh at that. Sorry.
I'm just thinking because we all know that things can change in the drop of a hat, you know, and it's like they might have had it going on, or you know, and they support system, but things just happen, and it's just like now you sit here balancing the scales or weighing out your options, trying to figure out like, I mean, I want this baby, you know, and I mean, at the end of the day, I'll give you just a story. This girl I know, she was gonna go have an abortion. I already had it scheduled, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I either went to see her that same day or the day after she was supposed to have the abortion, and she told me she didn't get it. The reason she didn't get it, because she said the day before she was supposed to go get the abortion, a little girl in her dream, the little girl came to her in her dreams and asked her why. And that little girl that she seen in her dreams was her daughter. The way that girl looked in her dreams is the way that girl looked now. And she was just like, she couldn't do it. Like that was her daughter asking her why. And think about it, a lot of people by the time when they go get an abortion, they don't know they're having a boy or girl. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another thing, you know, some people, I don't know if a lot of people have ever had that experience, but you know, she had the experience, she really wasn't going to have another child, but.
That is wild. Life is so mysterious.
You know what I'm saying?
The what?
Like how you say spiritually ready or whatever. She might not feel like she was, but I don't think God didn't send an image of that little girl to her for no reason.
That is so wild. Well, what does my future husband look like?
Girl, I'm gonna try to. So, but yeah. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Yeah, guys, don't walk around with a condom in your wallet for 2 months, then decide to use it.
Oh, what's going on?
Because it's bound to break. Don't leave condoms in your car because the heat breaks away at the latex.
Just go
Don't
buy
do it.
new ones.
Get a fresh new box and then go have fun.
Well, this is okay. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always shocked when my friends told me when they started having intercourse. When when do you all think it's just too young to have intercourse?
Intercourse as
And why?
what? Sex itself or
Yeah.
oral sex?
All of it.
I'm gonna go all of that. I didn't think about separating them. So go ahead, yeah, all of it.
Uh,
Eric was being fast when he was young.
Shut up.
Fast.
Shut up. As in times go now, I always say 18 to 19 where you should start.
Or you, if you want,
Because at that point, you kind of know what you want to do with your life. You got a couple of life choices. You done made it through school. So therefore you're ready for the next chapter of your life. So
did you put ready and next together? This will put ready and next together. Genetic. Not genetic. Oh Lord, sorry.
But at that stage, you ready for the next point in your life. So you pretty much know the risk of it, the full extent and the risk of it. But being super young, as in 12, 13, 14, 15, no. You still in your parents' house. You probably damn near finish middle school or start high school right about now. So what can you contribute at that point other than
Your
burdening your parents?
I say that because as I was talking to a lot of my friends, they were having intercourse as young. I think one of my friends, the youngest age was 13. And I was like at 13, I wasn't even thinking about sex. Like that wasn't even a topic. I was trying to figure out how to stop being so sad. And you were thinking about sex.
You know, thinking about it now when you say what your friend told you, whatever, and thinking about me first time having sex at 14, a lot of kids, including myself, are very is impressionable the word I want to use? Impressionable influence. And then you have kids like you that it's like you came out the womb already knowing who you was, standing 10 toes down and wouldn't let nobody phasing you and knocking you or changing you. I'm being honest because it's like, prime example with the WAP video, right? Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, people was like, oh, my child ain't gonna watch this, or people need to watch their children, but it's like, you may make sure they don't watch it or listen to the song, but that child at their school that they may hang around, that may have a smartphone, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what they listen to, and then it's like, some children may listen to it and may want to get in tune to figure out what's going on, and some kids may be like you, be like, it's just a song,
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing about that is that a lot of kids are impressionable, and all kids I feel like are curious, but they're curious in different things in different ways. So I don't know. That's just, I kind of guess that was my thing. Like I was just kind of like curious and impressionable, or what's the other word? Influenced upon or whatever, something like that. Where, like I said, you was like, shit, I'm cool with me. And that's
I'm a loner for life. I'm just a loner. I just choose to be by myself. Like I'm not someone who's interested in relationships. Like honestly, if God has made me a husband, that's what's up. But if not, that's what's up. Like I'm cool either way.
But that's like that's the thing. Like I'm just talking about like different things, like about like even like with you and Eric, like even though Eric was fast when he was younger.
Yeah, I used to hump in the kitty corner or whatever.
Okay. He told me some things or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of kids are just influenced by the wrong things, and they just get curious and want to go figure out where, you got people like you, Brittany and Eric, that are just like, this is how I stand, this is how I rock, and ain't nobody changing it.
Ain't nobody gonna change that.
So you know what I'm saying? And it's like now until you start growing older, like me, and then you sit back and you think over your life, like, you know, if this me could have been that me, this would have been a different outcome. You know? So I think that's another thing. But once again, like I said, the conversation goes back to starting in the home. Parents can't be so afraid to have in-depth conversation, not just a conversation, but an in-depth conversation. And matter of fact, put an S on their conversations, because
I was just thinking about that. Like,
well,
if parents really sit down and question their kids when they come home from school, like you question your spouse, I think stuff won't be so bad.
Well, you know, I think it also depends on if a child is willing to be open. You know, even if you and that child, even if you and your child have a good relationship, your child still may feel kind of bad about what they may have done or what they're thinking about doing, and they may just have issues with themselves about when to open up to you.
and you know, that comes to, I think, you having to navigate finding a way to connect with that child. Like say, even if you have a good relationship, like no matter what, let them know that they can come to you and talk to you about anything and that you love them. But don't just to say, actually mean it, that you love them. And that
Yeah.
they can talk to you about anything and everything. And another thing, you know,
Wait. If your child's like, Mom, I just murdered someone.
well, you come talk to me about anything and everything, and I'm still gonna love you.
Yeah.
And that's just that, because it's like,
Where did you hide the body? Where did you do this at? Like,
we
right.
need to go into your head. What make, like, everything is also not just a why question, but it got to go deeper than that. Like a lot of situations in life, things in life are just deeper than a surface question.
That's
And dang, I was about to say, besides, you know, you got to find a way to connect with your child. Like you said, whether you have a good relationship or not, right? If they don't want to talk to you, tell them, do they mind writing you a letter? And whoever you pray to, but you know, God is my savior, okay? That's my man, that's my father. So my thing is, I would definitely pray to him, because I'm raising his children to come back home to him.
That's true.
You know, and I would hope that I would pray for my child and myself that we could come to it, that we can have a conversation of understanding and knowledge, you know, doing the work to make a better household, to make a better human being. You know what I'm saying? It's just things that is deeper than just some surface thing. Like, that's your child. You need to go the extra mile if you're trying to understand where they're coming from. Like, you got to make them feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable, well, then you need to pray or do some meditating or do something that can make you feel comfortable, to ready to have that conversation with the child you were blessed with.
I'll say this. The reason why I asked that question, because like me and Mom, we had a really great relationship. But when I was going through what I didn't know was depression in high school, and she found a letter I wrote, and she asked the question that kind of felt like she was just interrogating me and judging me at the same time. So even though I had a great relationship with my mom, at that moment I was like, okay, so obviously I can't talk to you about everything.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when Brandon posted Father's Day post about, you know, they just gave you, like, by hating how they just gave you to me, didn't even ask me if I knew what I was doing. Some people do actually take this stint to go to parenting classes, and some people go to parenting classes throughout, even after having a child, right? You know, connecting with them as they get older and stuff like that. And that's some things that you know, if you have the resources and it's free, or if you have the means to pay for the class, I don't know if something like that would be free or not, but it's like, you know, if it's not put out there, and if it's something not free, because at the end of the day, you said it like last video or something, how a lot of people are just adults, big kids with money, or, you know, big kids or whatever, and they don't really know. So it's like,
Big ass kids with bills.
Okay, there you go. That's it. So it's like some of them really don't know how to be a parent. They just know that they did this and they going off of how they feel on their examples. But it's like, don't be ashamed. You really might need to go take a class on how to be a thorough parent or a thorough human being. Because what I mean by that is because if you're not my child, like I can go question my friend about something, right? But if I'm coming off judgmental or whatever, she's not gonna want to talk to me about nothing. That you know what I'm saying, nothing that in depth. So it's like it's just, how you come at people and do you make them feel comfortable and loved. And I get what you're saying. Like when people make you feel like you're being judged or whatever, you're like, yeah, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, never
Like
mind.
when mommy found a weed seed in my car, like I was thinking, it's a little bit of dirt down there. You was looking that hard.
Like my mom's a great parent, but I definitely think what I've realized about mom is, well, I'll say mom and dad is they grew up in a different generation, Like when I was talking to dad about my mental health issues, he started saying, well, you know what, Brittany, I'm glad you talked about this because you know what? I realized that I have the same issues as you, but we didn't call them mental health. We didn't call them anything. We just said, get over it. So I'm realizing that when it comes to being a parent, you really have to learn yourself and then learn how to be yourself as a parent as well. There's just like you said, there's layers with sex ed, there's layers to being a parent and a human being. And you just have to want to learn more about yourself so you can be a better person for yourself and for others around you, and especially for your child if you have one.
So, yeah, so just going back to our topic, pro-choice, pro-life, people need to learn how to put themselves in other people's shoes sometimes and not be so dang on mean and selfish and thinking that their way is just the only way. Like, once again, if somebody looked in your background or your closet or in your bag, I mean, is it gonna be squeaky clean? Not everybody is squeaky clean.
We all got march in front of God one day. Well, depending on your religious beliefs, you may march in front of someone different. Or I don't know how that would work for your religious beliefs, but for us Christians, we got to march in front of God.
Oh, fun fact. Planned Parenthood, I did not know they do abortions. I just found that out last year. So
like it's Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I'm with him. When I thought Planned Parenthood only taught you about
being a parent.
And yes, contraceptives, different kind of contraceptives, taught you more about STDs and all that stuff. I didn't know that until I started researching. I was like, oh. So it's more than just like free testing and pamphlets. I don't know if they're all the same, but I did see some that do offer that that option, that procedure. But I just want to say, even though I do say that I'm pro-choice, I'm never going to dismiss a pro-life person if they're in my circle. I will never dismiss what they have to say. We don't have to see eye to eye, but as long as there's respect on both sides, that's all that really matters.
Yeah,
that's just how I am.
Green eggs and ham.
I don't think I would want that.
But okay. All right, y'all. So I think we come to the end of today's video of Tipsy conversation. I wasn't so tipsy this time. Next time I'm gonna get a little bit more advanced before I come on the screen.
I had a headache, so I decided to not do like I did last week. Last week I had a bottle and a half. Yes.
You're feeling nice.
But nonetheless, I'm Ebony Chambers. Once again, you can find me at King Ebony E on Instagram and here on YouTube. And this lovely man.
Eric. Still don't have social media yet, but promise you I get
one. Don't believe it. See, that's the thing. Look in his bag. It's not all squeaky clean. He might be lying to you.
My bag got a couple holes in it.
Just watch where they're placed.
And then
And
there's a person over here.
are you pointing to me?
Yeah. That's why I went past Eric's face.
Okay, so on my screen, I'm up above you both. So, well, my name is Brittany, and as also, let's rewind that, okay? And my name is Brittany. You can once again find me on Instagram under the name Brittany Alicia, or here on YouTube under the name Brittany Alicia. It has been a pleasure hanging out with you all today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and drinking with us. If you did pour up, or if you just drank some water, we thank you. So you all have a great morning, a great afternoon, a great night, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.